Taurus, 2024, if I had to wrap it up in one word for you, it would be self-improvement. You are going to have a lot of energy at your disposal this year to improve yourself, improve your money, and improve your career. And I can pretty much say that by the end of 2024, your life is going to look remarkably different. So if you want to know more about what 2024 has in store for you, stick around. You definitely don't want to miss this. Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you are new around here, welcome. My name is Mel. I'm a professional astrologer and I'm the founder of divinefeminineworks, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. So welcome to my 2024 Astro Forecast series. So I wanted to preface this video by letting you know that all of these videos, all 12 of these videos, are done by rising sign, because that's what's going to give you the most accurate astrological information. Now, if you have no idea what your rising sign is, first thing you're going to want to do is check out this video right here that explains everything about your big three, including your rising sign. And then the second thing you'll want to do is go to a site like astro.com or astro-seek.com. All you'll need to do is put in your birth time, location, and date. And when it comes to the time, you're going to want to be as precise as you possibly can, because that will give you the most accurate information. You're going to put in those three things. You will get a natal chart generated for you, and your rising sign will be labeled as the ascendant, either the AS or ASC. That way, you'll be able to check out the video that is just right for you. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. So if you watched my 2024 General Astro Forecast, and if you didn't, no worries, I'll leave the link to that in the description box below. I talked about 4 themes that are going to transpire for all of us throughout 2024. And those themes are expansion, evolution, relation, and conservation. So first, let's talk expansion. And this has everything to do with Jupiter. So Jupiter is getting ready to make a move this year. So since about May or June of 2023, Jupiter has been getting cozy and comfortable in the sign of Taurus. Well, Jupiter will remain in Taurus for about half of 2024, and then thereafter, Jupiter will move into Gemini. And while Jupiter is still in Taurus, there's going to be a very important conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus. So for you, Taurus, Jupiter in Taurus is all about your first house of self. So what I said before about this year being about self-improvement, this is really what I'm talking about. So Jupiter is the planet of abundance. It's the planet of good fortune, good luck. It's also the planet of expansion and growth. Now, with Jupiter being in the first house, while it is in Taurus, you really want to be mindful of your waistline, because the first house has everything to do with ourselves and our physical bodies. Jupiter being the great expander, this may be a time when you put on some weight. Perhaps for women, this may be a time where you get pregnant, right? Your body is expanding. So in terms of growth, that's one way that Jupiter in Taurus can definitely, let me not say improve your life, but may affect your life, right? But more so than that, Jupiter is about expansion and growth. Jupiter sort of gets us out of our comfort zone and will provide us with opportunities for us to expand, to grow, and to sort of, I'm not going to say transform, because Jupiter is not necessarily a transformative planet, but I will say that Jupiter allows us to reach new heights, perhaps helps us get to the next level. So with Jupiter in Taurus, this is all about self-development. So you may find that while Jupiter is in Taurus, you are presented with opportunities that can expand you, that can get you to move out of your comfort zone and help you turn into the person that you're sort of meant to be, okay? Now, what's interesting, like I said before, is that while Jupiter is in Taurus, it will have an important conjunction with Uranus. So this may be a time when there is surprises when it comes to growth. Maybe it's a new opportunity that comes out of the blue that really requires you to step into a new version of yourself. Now, this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is going down on or about April 20th. All right. So around that time, keep your eyes open for any opportunities that may allow you to expand your bottom line, allow you to expand your mind, may have you traveling to far off places or places you've never been before, or may have you experiencing things that are outside of your comfort zone. Thereafter, Jupiter is going to move into Gemini, and this is all about your money because this is going to be your second house of money and material possessions. So when Jupiter moves into Gemini on or about May 25th, this is when you're going to start to see more activity in terms of your money. Now, this is great because for the remainder of 2024, you may find opportunities to make more money, right? Because Jupiter is all about abundance. It's all about good fortune, which can be money, right? New opportunities, new jobs, new income streams. Just keep in mind that Jupiter in Gemini is going to present a lot of options. It's going to be a lot of activity. So it's really important that you prioritize which activities are better in terms of money generation or things that are just sort of hand to mouth kind of money things. All right. But regardless, when Jupiter moves into Gemini, it's going to give your bottom line a boost of positive energy. Next up, let's talk evolution. And this has everything to do with Pluto. So Pluto is getting ready to make a major move this year. Now, Pluto can spend anywhere between 11 to close to 40 years in a sign. So needless to say, Pluto doesn't move signs very often. However, we are at a very pivotal point in history and in time where Pluto is actually changing signs for a while. All right. So Pluto has been in Capricorn for some time, right? And in 2023, between March and June, we got a preview of this move that Pluto is planning on making. So between that time, Pluto went into Aquarius, and this is like the dawning of the Aquarian age, right? Whole bunch of technological advances, the information age, all of that good stuff. I want to say that if I think back to that point in time this year, like I think that that's when ChatGPT really like popped off, all of that good AI stuff, right? Needless to say, we got a taste of Pluto and Aquarius between March and June of this year. However, in January of 2024, Pluto is going to make its way into Aquarius somewhat permanently. All right. So for majority of the year, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius. And for you, Taurus, this is all about your 10th house of career and public life. So expect your career trajectory, expect your business, expect your job, expect your standing, your social standing, your reputation to undergo a complete transformation beginning now and for the next 20 years. This is a really big deal for you, Taurus, because I know I'm a Taurus rising and career has really gone through the ringer over the last couple of years. And I feel like 2024 is going to be the year where you start to see the fruits of your labor, particularly since 2024 is a universal 8 year in numerology. This is the year of abundance. This is the year of reaping the fruit of your labor, right? This is rewards for a job well done. So many of you Taurians may see that 2024 starts to look really different when it comes to your career. Things may be starting to pick up. You may be getting more notoriety. You may be looking more as, an authority in your career field, in your industry, or maybe even in your business. Your social standing may start to change, especially with Pluto going into Aquarius and it being all about information and intellect. The more that you put yourself out there, the more that you speak, the more that you let people know what you do. And with Taurus being a sign of value, the more value that you give to people in terms of your career or even your business, you're going to start to see that materialize and you're going to start to see that picking up steam between 2024 and 2044. All right. Pluto's going to be in Aquarius for a while. So get comfortable with this whole career transformation. Now, between September and November, Pluto's actually going to dip back into Capricorn. And for you, this is your 9th house of higher education and long distance travel. So the short stint in Capricorn is really just to clean up anything that's left over that no longer serves you. With the 9th house being very much about spirituality, about faith, perhaps your whole belief system has transformed over the last, I want to say 10 plus years, right? And now it's becoming solidified. Now, whatever you believe, whatever you've expanded your mind to is now going to be your new norm. And so that short stint in Capricorn between September and November is really just Pluto cleaning house, clearing things up and tying up loose ends and clearing out any unfinished business. Because again, once Pluto is going back into Aquarius in November for good for the next 20 years. This is when you're going to start to see your whole career life transform. Now let's talk relation. And this has everything to do with the North and the South nodes. So in 2023, the North and the South nodes actually moved signs. They changed signs. So from the end of 2021 to mid 2023, the nodes were actually in Taurus and Scorpio. The North node was in Taurus. The South node was in Scorpio. And then in July of 2023, the nodes changed from Aries for the North node and Libra for the South node. Now, the nodes has everything to do with fate and destiny, right? On the one hand, you have the North node, which is like your North Star. It's your guiding light. It's sort of what you're working toward in this lifetime. Whereas the South node is your comfort zone, your inherent talent, and sort of what you're moving away from in this lifetime. So for you, the North and the South node are in your 12th house, the North node, and your South node is in the 6th house. So with the nodes being in Aries and Libra, this axis, this nodal axis, has everything to do with relationships. Aries is me, Libra is we, right? So how does that exactly work out for you, being that Aries is your 12th house and Libra is your 6th house? So when it comes to relationships and it comes to the 6th and the 12th house, this is everything to do with service, how we serve people. 12th house is like your service to humanity, sort of your higher calling even. Whereas your 6th house is your day-to-day service, your job, right? Your 9 to 5. The 6th house has everything to do with work and health. The 12th house is the house of the unknown, the house of self-undoing, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So when it comes to 2024 and this nodal axis for you, Taurus, it's almost like you are figuring out who you are and basically who you serve. What is your higher calling in life, right? Your North Star is leading you to this. And in doing so, you may find that you are shedding a lot of your old identity. You're shedding a lot of perhaps relationships that are not of service to your highest good, right? And you're figuring out who you really are from the inside out. That's the North node. Now, when it comes to your 6th house and the South node in Libra, South node in Libra is clearing house with respect to all of the relationships or relationship issues or patterns that no longer serve us. So with Libra being your 6th house, when it comes to work, when it comes to your daily routine, when it comes to your job, when it comes to the people that you serve on a regular basis, right? Or perhaps even the people that serve you on a regular basis, whatever is no longer of your highest good, whatever no longer serves you, whatever karmic relationship patterns are hindering you from becoming the best version of yourself, these are the relationships that are being cleared out. These are the issues that are being cleared out. These are the patterns that are finally being stopped right now, so you can really focus on and embody who you are truly meant to be. All right. So this nodal axis for you has a lot to do with service. So you may find that throughout 2024, who you relate to, who you serve, who you give yourself to, whether it's on a daily basis with your 6th house, or whether it's more of your calling and your vocation, you may see that that may begin to change. And that's ultimately a good thing, because right now, the way that the world is set up, we need to be our best selves. And thankfully, the North and the South node is helping us do that this year. So the fourth theme of the 4 themes that I mentioned earlier is conservation. And this has everything to do with Mars, specifically the fact that Mars is going to go retrograde this year. So Mars does not go retrograde every year. It goes retrograde about every 2 years. And so in 2024, Mars will be going retrograde. Now, when Mars is retrograde, this is a time when we chill out. This is the time when you don't start new things. This is a time when you power down. This is the time to conserve your energy. Hence the theme of conservation. So Mars is actually not going retrograde until the very end of 2024. So it will begin its retrograde cycle in Leo in December of 2024. And then in January 2025, it will retrograde back into Cancer. All right. So for you, when Mars goes retrograde, it will begin its retrograde cycle in Leo, which is your 4th house of home and domestic affairs. So this will be the time when you'll want to power down. This may be a time where you want to chill at home more. And that kind of vibes well with the end of the year, right? That being December, Christmas, the holiday season. Like, you may just want to take it easy. You may not want to be doing the most. This is not the time to start any new home projects or start anything new with family. You may just want to chill and enjoy together time with your family at home. And then come January 2025, when Mars moves into Cancer, this will be your third house of ideas and communication. And so it will be important for you in 2025 to begin the year on somewhat of a quiet note. This may not be the time to start any new courses, to, reach out to people you haven't spoken to in a long time. This may be a time when you kind of just chill, when you kind of reflect, and you kind of just allow your batteries to recharge. This may be the time where you may not want to be doing the most, answering all the emails, text messages, being all out there and social. It may be a time when you just want to chill and conserve your energy. But again, Mars isn't going retrograde until the end of 2024. So you've got some time, but heed this information and definitely come back to it some point in 2024 so you definitely don't forget. All right, Taurus. So let's talk a topic that is near and dear to your heart, and that is money. So in order to ascertain what your money situation is looking like for 2024, actually to ascertain what your money situation looks like generally, you look at two different houses. You look at the second house of your personal money and material assets, and you look at your eighth house, which is your house of shared money and material assets and debt. All right. So first up, let's talk your money. All right. And you're going to be pretty happy about this because this year, Jupiter, the planet of money and abundance, is actually going into your money house. So beginning in May of 2024, Jupiter will be transiting into your second house of money and material possessions. Lots of it. Money is going to start to look good, especially if money has been looking kind of down. Things haven't been that great. The math hasn't been mathing. Your wallet has been looking a little slim, right? I feel like Jupiter in Gemini, which again is going down on May 25th of 2024, is going to provide lots of opportunities to make more money. It may even put more money in your hands, right? Now, keep in mind, it's also going to present a lot of opportunities. So it's really important for you to prioritize which ones are worth your time and effort and which ones aren't, all right? But the thing is, with Gemini being a sign of communication, a sign of socializing, a sign of exercising your throat chakra, this is not going to be the year to be silent. This is going to be the year to really get yourself out there, get your message out there. If you're doing your job, this is the time to reach out to more leads, do more advertising, do more marketing. The more publishing you do with respect to your business or your job or however you make money, the more opportunities are going to flow to you this year. So this is not the year to be shy. It's definitely the year to exercise that throat chakra and secure the bag. All right. So next up, let's talk your eighth house of shared resources and debt. So your eighth house is Sagittarius. Now, nothing is really going down in Sagittarius this year, majorly speaking, right? So what we tend to do is we look at the ruler of your eighth house. So since your eighth house is Sagittarius, the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, right? Jupiter is really doing some things for you this year, Taurus, and I'm really happy to see that. Now, keep in mind, Jupiter is also the great expander. So it's going to force you lovingly and positively to move out of your comfort zone, to broaden your mind and broaden your horizons. Now, you're going to want to cast a wide net when it comes to securing other people's finances, especially when Jupiter goes into your second house of money. This is going to be the time when, again, you're going to want to put your message out there. It's also going to be a time where you may want to start campaigning for funds. If you're doing crowdfunding, that's going to be a good thing to do when Jupiter moves into Gemini. Perhaps you're looking for loans and stuff like that. That will also be good to do when Jupiter moves into Gemini. Keep in mind, though, I said before, Jupiter's the great expander, and your eighth house of debt, you don't want to take on too much debt. You also want to be slightly realistic about the debt that you already have. Now, if you're making plans to pay off your debt, this may also be a year where you want to do that, particularly, again, when Jupiter goes into Gemini. You're going to want to talk to people, make deals, payment arrangements, all that stuff. This is the year where I feel like you really get your money situation situated, all right? So this is the year where you're going to want to ramp up your activities, Really put yourself out there because Jupiter is really getting ready to bless you on the money front this year. All right, let's talk another topic that is pretty near and dear to your heart as well, and that is love. You guys being ruled by Venus, money and love, those are your subjects. So these are definitely the subjects you're going to want to know about for 2024. So in terms of love, to ascertain your love life, you're going to also look at 2 houses. And that's the 5th house of romance and dating and the 7th house of commitments and partnerships. All right. So first up, let's talk romance and dating. And this is going to be the house, and this is going to be the topic you're going to want to pay attention to, specifically if you are uncoupled or you're dating or you're not in a serious commitment. All right. So for you, your 5th house is Virgo. Now, there isn't anything significant going down in the sign of Virgo, so we look to the ruler of Virgo to determine what the area of life is going to look like for the year. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So when it comes to romance and dating, I feel like it's going to be pretty regular. However, you're going to want to pay attention to Mercury retrogrades. All right. Whenever Mercury goes retrograde this year, this is going to have a direct impact on your romantic life and your dating life. Now, Mercury is going to be going retrograde in all of the fire signs this year. So needless to say, when Mercury goes retrograde, it's not necessarily going to be the time to start a new relationship. You're kind of just going to chill. You may have visitors from the past. You may have, specifically when Mercury goes retrograde, you may have exes from the past romantic partners, or perhaps even relationship and dating patterns from the past re-emerge. So the Mercury retrograde periods are going to be very interesting for you when it comes to romance and dating, because this is going to have a direct impact on that. All right. So next up, let's talk marriage and commitment. And this is going to be your 7th house. Now your 7th house is Scorpio. Okay. Now, again, nothing extraordinary is going down in the sign of Scorpio this year. So we're going to look to the ruler, or should I say the rulers of Scorpio, to determine what your marriage and commitment life is looking like this year. So Scorpio is unique because it has 2 rulers, a traditional ruler and a modern ruler. The traditional ruler is Mars. The modern ruler is Pluto. These are 2 planets that are actually going to be pretty busy this year. So first up, Mars. Mars is going to be going retrograde at the end of 2024, like I mentioned before, right? This is relationship patterns or even relationship partners coming back from the past. So of all the signs, I feel like in 2024, when we talk about the retrogrades, it's you, Taurus, that's going to be experiencing a case of the ex, perhaps, right? So when Mars goes retrograde, again, this may be a time when you want to chill. Mars is going to be retrograde from December 2024 to January 2025. This is not the time to get married. It's not the time to propose. It's not the time to sign on the dotted line. It's really just the sign of chilling, all right? Especially because when Mars is active, Mars has us being very impulsive. So you may find that you are hit by that love bug and it's holiday season and you want to get engaged or you want to get married and have a winter wonderland wedding. While Mars is retrograde at the end of the year, you may want to rethink that. You may want to pump your brakes and kind of see the lay of the land before you take that impulsive next step, all right? Now, the other ruler of your 7th house is Pluto. And Pluto is getting ready to make a major move this year. Pluto is going from Capricorn to Aquarius. So needless to say, I feel like when Pluto goes into Aquarius, this is going to be a time when you may find some activity or some sort of change going on with your marriages, your commitments, or even your business partnerships. All right. So keep your eyes open, especially especially at the beginning of 2024, see what happens. See how you think about commitment and marriage. That may be beginning to change once Pluto goes into Aquarius. The way that you see your future, the values perhaps that you have when it comes to marriage and commitment may start to change. And again, you may start to see that at the beginning of the year. All right. However, with Pluto making that big move and it directly impacting your 7th house, I feel like there's going to be some major developments in the marriage and commitment area of your life beginning this year. And last but certainly not least, let's talk career and work. So in order to ascertain our career and work lives, we also look at 2 different houses. First, we look at the 6th house of work and health. This is your regular job, your 9 to 5. And then we look at your 10th house of career and public life. This is your career, your vocation, or perhaps even your life purpose, all right? So I kind of touched on this before when I talked about Pluto, right? Because Pluto is getting ready to move into your 10th house this year. But first, let's talk about your regular job, the regular activities and daily routine that you have, okay? And so again, that is covered by your 6th house of work and health. So your 6th house is Libra, okay? And as I mentioned before, the South Node is making its way through Libra. So when it comes to work, when it comes to your daily routine, you may find that certain things are wrapping up, things are ending, or things are changing. Perhaps the way that you've done things in the past isn't really working for you anymore. That South Node is clearing house. So when it comes to your clients, your customers, anyone to whom you relate on a daily basis, particularly at work, your relationship with them is going to change if it needs to, right? If it no longer serves your highest good, if it no longer resonates with you, those relationships are going to change, all right? And basically what you need to do is let them. The South Node clears things out of our lives for a very good reason. When we clear what we don't need, we leave room for what we do. And so if any of those daily routine relationships, the relationship with your coworkers, clients, people that you serve or people that serve you, if those are changing this year, let them. By the time the nodes move out of Aries and Libra, you'll find that this area of your life will probably be remarkably different and for the better. All right. And I don't need to go too much into career because I really covered this with Pluto moving into Aquarius, right? So the way that you conduct yourself in your career, how you work, is going to be transformed. Now, Aquarius is all about the information age. We're seeing the rise of technological advances. AI it's everything right now. And so you may start to implement these things in what you do for a career. The way that you serve people, the way that you work may be changing dramatically once Pluto moves into Aquarius, all right? Now, there also may be a bigger focus on humanity and the collective within your career because that's everything that Aquarius represents. And with Pluto going into Aquarius, it's almost like maybe your calling is changing a little bit. Maybe there's a more focus or there's a stronger focus on the collective and humanity. Maybe you've already had that focus, but the way that you serve humanity is going to change once Pluto gets into your 10th house. Either way, get ready because I feel like your career trajectory, your career direction is going to be completely transformed beginning in 2024. All right, my loves. So that concludes your edition of the 2024 Yearly Astro Forecast. I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least one important piece of information that you can use going into this new year. Now, if you want to know the real deal for 2024 for you specifically, then consider scheduling my 2024 annual reading. This is going to give you a breakdown of what 2024 means for you specifically from soup to nuts. So I will compare your natal chart to the transits of 2024. I will give you a beautifully written report so that you can reference all of this information later. Plus, it's going to be a 60-minute online virtual consultation where you can ask as many questions as you want. Plus, I pull cards from Spirit, so it's a whole vibe. Slots are limited. I'm only going to be providing this service until mid-January, so you definitely want to sign up as soon as possible. The link is in the description box below, and it's also tagged to this video. All right, my loves, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you nothing but the absolute best that 2024 has to offer. I wish you a year full of abundance, joy, great health, wealth, love, and blessings. All right, my loves, again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.